Welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. And in today's episode, I have a lot to unpack, both very positive and hard to talk about / hard to hear. First off, I have a really bad allergy attack and my voice is a little off, so please forgive me for that. So let's start with something very positive. First off, there's a manufacturer that I think doesn't get enough kudos, respect, and news, and that is NuCamp, NuCamp. They build mainly high-quality teardrop travel trailers and slide-in truck campers. And on RVbusiness.com, it was reported that their brand new floor plan, the 920 Cirrus, CIRRUS, sold out production already. So they unveiled this thing at the Hershey show in 2023. So what was that, September? And they've already sold out their planned production for the year. It just goes to show you, when you build a high quality product that's within reason affordability, people will go buy it. Not a perception of high quality. And you know who I'm talking about. Actual high quality. Outdoors RV, Northwood Manufacturing, control how much they build per year. And they're a profitable company without being a mass producer. And their dealerships make money hand over fist on those products because they don't build a lot of them. When something's rare, it brings more money. So when you go to sell one of these type of units, you can ask for more money on a used price than you can on something that's mass produced. It gives you a little more, if not a lot more, leverage. And if I'm wrong, email me if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching or listening on YouTube, send me a comment. Let me know. Am I full of crap? I don't know. It's my perception. Okay. The other thing out of RVbusiness.com was there was an article, and we want to talk about controlling the narrative, controlling the corporate narrative. Blue Compass was put on Prestige that they were one of the fastest growing companies. Now, there's a lot of truth to that because last year they did expand. They rebranded themselves. But when you talk to insiders in this industry, Blue Compass is planning on selling 28 stores this year and closing down between another 15 to 16 what I call redundant stores by the end of summer. Does that sound like a growing company? No. That sounds like most of us in the RV business, we're just trying to survive. Now, let me kind of explain this. This is the rumor mill I've been talking about, okay? This is like people I know that are deep in this industry that have given me this information. Just like the information that Lazy Days is planning on filing Chapter 11. Does that mean that any of these companies are going out of business? No. It means that they are positioning themselves to get through this year, to get through an election year, to get through more than likely a crappy economy, and get to spring of 2025. Camping World's going to do the same thing, guys. Camping World will shut down stores this year. Not service departments, but just the store part of it, the RV sales department. Because there are places in the United States where Camping World has 3 to 5 locations in an hour drive of each other. It's redundant. But during COVID, it wasn't. During COVID, it was kind of a necessity. Now that we're scaling way back, and this will be the worst shipment year for the factories since 2010, unless something changes. So when we hear all these rumors, and then the corporate narrative is thrown out there, it's because, let's face it, bad news is not a good thing to keep shoppers coming to the dealership to buy. If I told you today that you lived in Georgetown, Hawaii, and your local Camping World was going to close down in a month, or your local mom and pop store was going to close down in a month, more than likely you're going to try to probably stay away from that store, because anything you buy there, you're going to feel like you're not going to get any support. So why would they release that to the public? That would be cutting their nose off to spite their face. That would be shooting themselves in the foot. So what will happen when this occurs, however it occurs, and then again, if it occurs, because there's a chance things could turn around and buyers go out into the market and mass buy in a normal market, not a COVID level, but like a 2016, 2017 level, then that may not happen. I highly doubt it. It's an election year. But, here's the but. That news will come out as the elections heat up. Once we have our 2 presidential nominees from the Republican Democratic Party, along with Mr. Kennedy, and once every day the first 7 pages of every news station, every news article, every news thing is election, 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 they'll slip it in the back door. By the way, Joe Blow ID RV is closing down 38 stores over the next 6 months. It's the old bad news. We have to release it, but we're going to do it when we can put it in the back of the news section so nobody notices it. So investors don't pull out. So stock market people don't mass sell off. So there isn't mass panic in the universe. These are not moves to be nefarious or bad. These are moves to help actually create a better shopping experience. Now that sounds like a twist on things, but it isn't. So let's think about this. If you've got 10 stores in a 1-hour drive from you, it is exhausting to shop. If you're in an area that has 2.5 million people living in it, let's use Las Vegas as an example. If you had 15 dealerships within an hour drive of Las Vegas, it would be exhausting for someone to go shopping. But if you had 5, it would make things easier, or maybe even 6. It would help the customer have a better shopping experience, at least in my opinion. Let's look at Riverside, California. California is a different animal than most places because all the traffic congestion in Southern California is ridiculous. It could take you 2 hours to go 60 miles. So having more RV places within a 70-mile range of each other makes sense. But then again, you go into Orange County, California, you got Mike Thompson RV, you got Dennis Dillon RV, you have a kind of Camping World. I call it a kinda because it's mostly a parts and service center. I don't know if they still have sales there or not. But there's only like 3 dealerships in the Orange County area. I'm sorry, 4 if you count Giant RV in Downey, California. So within an hour drive of about 4 million people, there's only 4 locations. It makes it easier for the customer, you the customer, to have a better shopping experience. Now, I could be wrong about that, but just statistically, the studies that I've read state that. Okay. Speaking of, that's a great segue into corporate narrative. Boy, have I had one hell of a day. It started at 4:30 this morning Pacific time when a couple of my sources called me. Now, in their defense, there are days where I'm up at 4 a.m. in a normal way. But ever since I started doing this podcast and been more involved in the YouTube stuff and the social media stuff and the marketing stuff for the dealership, yeah, my butt's not up till like 7 in the morning. I go to bed at like 1:30 in the morning, and I wake up between 6 and 7. So in their defense, they woke me up, no big deal. Moving on. They told me about a couple videos that I'm yet to watch that are from corporate RV YouTubers. And what I mean by that, because I think some folks are confused by that term. That term is a broad term to describe a salesperson or some kind of service person, or maybe they're a marketing person that works for an RV dealership that is part of a large corporation. Okay? An example of a large corporation is like Camping World, because everybody knows who Camping World is. I'm not saying this information came from Camping World, okay? I'm not going to specify who it came from. I'll leave it to you guys to think of who this is, or who these people, I should say, are. And according to them, these few RV YouTubers that are corporate affiliated, either with the factory or the big corporate dealerships, are trying to downplay frame flex and frame failure on fifth wheels, mainly Grand Design. One of them, they told me, and just to give you an idea, when I'm talking about we had a group call, it means all of them were together in one location at the time, and they called me on speakerphone. Now, I won't tell you where they were or what time zone or anything like that. We'll just say that I rely on them a lot for good information, and I'll never reveal who they are. If they ever want to come on the podcast, I've invited them to come on the podcast. Of course, they said no because they want to keep their jobs where they are. We'll just leave it at that. So, where I'm going with this, I'm sorry I'm taking so long to get there, is they said that it was less than 3% of fifth wheels across all brands. And then I kind of just quickly Googled every one of these corporate RV YouTubers, and the majority of them are Grand Design dealers, meaning they work for a dealership that sells Grand Design RVs. So my question is, how can we trust their data? How can we trust these folks that their data is accurate? And how did they gather this data? Did it come from the manufacturer? In that case, how did they collect the data, specifically Grand Design? How did Grand Design collect this data? How do we know it's accurate when I'm getting a bunch of people that are emailing me, messaging me, putting comments in my podcasts and YouTube videos that specifically say that Grand Design specifically is dragging their feet, not contacting them back, deleting their social media posts, deleting them out of Grand Design owner groups, banning them. The list goes on and on and on and on. And the reason why I have some belief in what these folks have told me is because I've had the same experience, because I post stuff to Grand Design owner groups and my stuff gets deleted when all I'm asking for is data. I'm not asking or blaming anybody. I'm actually also trying to collect data from Lippert themselves. And I'm sorry, I'm having an easier time collecting data from Lippert, or at least getting some kind of information from Lippert, than I am from Grand Design right now. So so how did they know? How do they know this information? Then what really sent me through the roof today, and I'm talking about I went skyrocket through the fucking roof today. Pissed. I went volcano nuclear today. Because someone on Facebook, and I won't mention where it came from on Facebook, but it came from Facebook. It was directly sent to me. It was a transcript of a video I'm yet to watch. It's a transcript of another very popular RV YouTuber that works for a dealership company that sells Grand Design products. And that person said that it was less than 0.5% of fifth wheels across all brands. Okay. Where did the data come from? How was it collected? How do we know that that number is accurate? How do we know? It's a question I leave to you guys. I leave this to you because there's a corporate narrative out there that's starting to really piss me off. Now, I'm going to throw one more thing out there because I want to throw one little defense out there. And it's a little defense, even though I'm pissed. But it's also not going to be a defense. There is a valid fact that all these YouTubers in this space, including this last person that said it was less than 0.5%, there's a lot of money involved. And they have to follow their corporate narrative. I've defended people on that. Now I'm going to look at you right in the camera if you're watching this. And you're going to have to excuse my language. But all of you I'm talking to that are part of this narrative that's trying to downplay this frame problem, you fucking took the money. You didn't have to. All of you could have stayed independent. All of you didn't have to get bought and paid for. It was your choice. It was your choices to be corporate yes women and yes men. It was your choices to be corporate stooges. No one forced you. Do I blame you? Yes and no. I haven't been in that situation. I've never been offered a plate of money in front of me to buy something from me like that. I've always had to earn my commission, earn my paycheck, bust my ass. And I'm not the best salesperson. I'm far from it. They call me the honey badger because I just give it to people how I feel it is. I don't hold back. I'm holding back right now because I kind of have to. But where did this data come from? How do we know it's accurate? I want that answered. And I think I have a way of proving that it's more of a problem than what these folks are narratively trying to do. If you have a Grand Design fifth wheel that you are having frame or construction problems with, there is a Facebook group. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put it in the description box below. If you're watching this or listening to this on another platform, I'll put and copy and paste the link so you can put into your URL or into your Facebook. It's called Grand Design Frame Flex. Or Frame Failure. Sorry, Grand Design Frame Failure. Great group. I think if we get enough people in there that are having this problem, I think they'll have to revisit that data that they shared. I am beside myself, guys. I don't know if you're watching this on YouTube, my freaking face feels like it's turning red. My body temperature is up. I want to absolutely unload on these people. So I want to start with this. I want to make sure this is clear. I've gotten a couple of Jayco seismics. I've gotten one Jayco Pinnacle. I've gotten one Jayco North Point. I've gotten a couple of people to tell me that they had an issue with a Keystone, Montana. But the three ones that are the most common, and we're not talking about, 10 here, 12 there. The super majority of every piece of data I'm collecting is Grand Design Momentum, Grand Design Solitude, and Keystone, Montana High Country. I am yet to hear anybody with a Flagstaff by Forest River, a Rockwood by Forest River, a Cougar by Keystone, let's see, a Riverstone, a Mobile Suites. I'm sorry, I take that back. I did get one guy that told me a Riverstone I think it was a 2019 Riverstone. So I've had one Riverstone. Let me take that back. So no Rockwoods, no Flagstaffs, no Cedar Creeks, no Cougars, no, let's see, no Mobile Suites, no, god dang, man, I can't keep going on all the brands, but there are several brands that no one has reached out to me and said, I have a problem. There are a lot of them. So you can't tell me it's all brands. Where the fuck are you getting that data? Show me the data. Show it to me. Give me the data. Tell me how it was done. Tell me how it's accurate. Prove to me that what you said on YouTube is correct. Tell me. For you grand design guys that run away from people at shows that are wearing Paving New Paths shirts, how did you collect data when you running away from the customers that are having the problem? How? Just answer me all those questions. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I want to know how you got to this conclusion. Because Lippert, when I talk to some people I know that are a part of or are directly connected to Lippert, they don't have any of that data yet. So how did you come to that conclusion? And let me apologize for my passion, because I shouldn't get like this. It really pisses me off because this is not the industry I got into 15 years ago. Now, there's a lot of you that are going to say, I'm just a Grand Design hater. No, because if I was a Grand Design hater, I wouldn't tell people that the travel trailers are just fine. Imagine, Transcend, Solitude travel trailer. So far, I've got no complaints about those. I have one person that reached out today or that I got information on today that has a reflection that has a problem. One. It's part of that sprinkled one or twosies here and there. I've been at this for 6 weeks. People are scared out of their damn mind to talk to anybody about the words frame flex or frame failure. It's removed off the internet. Every time I post something on one of the groups on Grand Design, it's removed. What's really interesting, I go into Jayco owner groups. Now, I don't know if anybody else has had this. I haven't heard about posts being removed off Jayco, but I've gone on Jayco's and asked people, and that's how I found the North Point. It's only been 2 days, but that's how I found the North Point. My post is still in 2 of the groups, and those groups are run by Jayco. They're not run by a third party. They're run by Jayco, and they kept my post in there. It's ridiculous. Man up. Seriously. You know what the hardest part of the whole thing is? There's a fabulous RV YouTuber, a great fabulous RV YouTuber, and I will not mention his or her name, but a lot of people have suggested to me maybe those people need to do the investigation into this and leave all the corporate YouTuber out. But the problem is these specific people that I'm talking about are so well connected amongst these corporate YouTubers that it'll create a shitstorm. So Liz Amazing or Amazing Liz or whatever you call yourself, I can't remember. I'm sorry. That's not a derogatory thing. My mind. This is a reach out to you. I think that you and I are the ones that are going to have to go after this. You got the bigger platform. I think you've got better connections than I do as far as investigative services and investigative people. I think you're the right person to lead this investigation. I still have to be at a dealership working. I can't travel the country and try to collect the data. I have to do it from a laptop and a cell phone. But I think as much as I give Liz Amazing crap, or Amazing Liz, I'm sorry, I can't remember again. As much as I give her crap because of her style, she's the right one to lead this investigation. And I hope she does. And if she does, I'm going to be there supporting her 100%. Because even though I may not agree with the style and the Armageddon nuclear explosions that she always talks about, sarcasm again, I think it's going to take someone like her, who's not connected, severely connected to a lot of these dealership YouTubers that work for large corporations. Merch store will be open on Monday, guys. Hopefully you guys will get see some shirts and hats. I'm sorry once again for the cussing and stuff like that. I'm sorry I got so out of control. I got to do a better job of controlling myself, but it's just time. Somebody's got to speak up. Till next time, RV stands for toolkit and sense of humor.